Blake Lively, once Hollywood's golden girl, just watched her and Ryan Reynolds' careers take a shocking hit. The reason? A brutal courtroom defeat against Justin Baldoni. What was supposed to be her moment of public redemption has completely backfired, leaving her reputation in shambles. This isn't just a small PR crisis. Lively stands accused of something far bigger. Allegedly, she didn't just overstep her role, she tried to hijack an entire movie. Reports claim she fought for total creative control, making demands that went far beyond what any actress should have had the power to do. What started as a passion project for director Justin Baldoni quickly spiraled into a nightmare. Ferreira Studios had a vision, but Lively had her own agenda, pulling strings and making moves that turned the production into an all-out power struggle. And now, with the court ruling against her, Hollywood is looking at Blake Lively in a whole new light, and not in a good way. Now, the same tactics Blake Lively used to push Justin Baldoni out of his own film are coming back to haunt her in court. What started as a behind-the-scenes power struggle has turned into a full-blown Hollywood disaster. Lively wasn't just an actress in It Ends With Us, she wanted control. Despite having nothing more than an executive producer vanity credit, reports say she took it upon herself to dictate major creative decisions, steering the film in a direction that clashed with the original vision. Insiders revealed that Lively didn't just tweak a few details, she rewrote entire scenes, changed costume designs, and even fired the film's original editor. But she didn't stop there. Allegedly, she built her own team from the ground up, replacing key crew members with people of her choosing, including a new composer, wardrobe designer, and editor. For Justin Baldoni and Ferreira Studios, this wasn't collaboration, it was a hostile takeover. And now, with the court ruling against her, Blake Lively's behind-the-scenes power moves are being exposed in a way she never saw coming. Then came Blake Lively's biggest misstep, an unauthorized screening that sent shockwaves through Ferreira Studios. While the film was still in the editing phase, Lively took it upon herself to show an unapproved rough cut at a literary event, hoping to stir up early buzz. For the studio, this wasn't just an impulsive decision, it was a blatant violation of industry protocol. Studios tightly control early versions of films, especially for high-profile projects. By bypassing the official process, Lively not only disrupted the film's carefully planned distribution strategy, but also handed Justin Baldoni a major advantage in his legal battle against her. And then things took a darker turn. This wasn't just about creative control anymore. Lively allegedly went on the offensive. Reports suggest she leaked sensitive details to the New York Times in a calculated attempt to damage Baldoni's reputation. What started as a behind-the-scenes power play had escalated into an all-out war, and Lively was quickly running out of moves. The timing of the New York Times article, which painted Justin Baldoni and Ferreira Studios in a negative light, was no coincidence. It dropped just as the lawsuit was heating up, and insiders believe Lively's team strategically leaked the story to control the media narrative and frame her as the victim. But the plan backfired badly. In court, Lively's legal maneuvers crumbled one by one. First, she requested a gag order to silence Baldoni's powerhouse attorney, Brian Friedman, hoping to keep him from publicly dismantling her version of events. The judge shut that down immediately. Friedman was free to speak, and he didn't hold back. Then, Lively tried to dodge deposition, a move that would have kept her from facing direct questioning about her actions behind the scenes. Once again, the court denied her request. Now, she was legally required to answer for her alleged attempts to manipulate the production and smear Baldoni through the press. The walls were closing in fast. If those legal losses weren't enough, the judge also refused to place any restrictions on Baldoni's attorney, giving Brian Friedman free rein to counter Lively's claims in the public eye. This ruling shattered Lively's PR strategy, which was built around controlling the narrative. Now, she's lost that control entirely. The fallout for her career is already unfolding. Hollywood insiders are growing hesitant to work with her, not just because of the lawsuit, but because of the chaos surrounding It Ends With Us. Studios invest millions into productions, and the last thing they want is a lead actress seizing creative control and throwing everything into disarray. Right now, Lively's reputation is becoming a major red flag for future projects. The stakes aren't just high for Lively Ryan. Reynolds is now caught in the crossfire. Allegations suggest that he actively supported Lively's power move, possibly with hopes of setting up a sequel. His rumored behind-the-scenes involvement has raised eyebrows, putting his once untouchable Hollywood status at risk. Meanwhile, Lively walked into this legal battle expecting to control the narrative, but the court has shut her down at every turn. What was supposed to be her moment of vindication has turned into a string of humiliating legal defeats. Her attempts to silence Baldonis' lawyer, avoid deposition, and steer public perception have all blown up in her face. Now, the damage to both her and Reynolds' careers might be impossible to undo. Lively's team made a desperate attempt to silence Baldonis' attorney, Brian Friedman, with a gag order, but the court wasn't having it. This wasn't just about limiting legal chatter. It was a last-ditch effort to stop Friedman from exposing how Lively allegedly hijacked It Ends With Us. Filed in early February, the motion argued that Friedman's public statements could cause irreparable harm to Lively's already shaky reputation. But on February 19, 2025, the judge rejected the request outright. Now, Friedman has full freedom to speak, and given his relentless approach so far, that's the last thing Lively wanted. Friedman hasn't held back, calling Lively's accusations against Baldoni nothing more than a calculated smear campaign. Now, with the court backing him, he's free to keep exposing her every legal misstep for the world to see. But Lively's problems don't stop there. She made a bold attempt to avoid being questioned under oath, hoping to dodge a deposition altogether. On February 15, 2025, her lawyers argued that she had already laid out her case in legal filings, and that forcing her into questioning would be an unnecessary invasion of privacy due to her celebrity status. The court wasn't convinced. The judge rejected her motion outright, ruling that Lively must sit for deposition and face direct questioning from Baldonis' legal team. Now, she has nowhere to hide. This ruling is a massive blow to Lively. She now has to answer under oath for every calculated move she made during the film's production, from rewriting scenes and hiring her own editor to leaking confidential details to the press and attempting to control Wayfarer Studio Severi. Decision will be put under the legal microscope. There's no scripting her way out of this one. Then came the most brutal legal blow yet. The court didn't just deny her gag order or her desperate attempt to avoid deposition. The judge also rejected her request to restrict what Baldonis' lawyer, Brian Friedman, could publicly disclose about the case. Now, Friedman has full legal freedom to discuss every detail, and given his aggressive approach, this could be catastrophic for Lively's already crumbling reputation. Friedman has been relentless, calling out Lively's hypocrisy at every turn. He previously exposed how she leaked confidential court documents to the New York Times, yet now she's scrambling to limit access to key evidence. With the court completely on his side, Friedman can bring even more damning facts into the spotlight, and there's nothing Lively can do to stop him. And Hollywood is watching closely. Industry insiders are increasingly wary of Lively's legal maneuvers, seeing through her attempts to manipulate the courtroom while still playing the victim. Executives aren't buying it, especially after her behind-the-scenes efforts to rewrite the film's storyline. A major studio source told Variety on February 22, 2025, that Lively's mounting legal losses are sending shockwaves through the industry. Studios are now reconsidering whether she's worth the risk, with many hesitant to work with someone who has demonstrated such erratic behavior both on set and in court. Then came the harshest take yet. A legal analyst speaking to The Hollywood Reporter on February 25, 2025, didn't hold back, calling Lively's situation career suicide. Blake is fighting a battle she can't win, the analyst stated. Every legal move she makes backfires, and the industry is watching her self-destruction in real time. Her deposition is locked in, and powerhouse attorney Brian Friedman is free to say whatever he wants. With every legal shield stripped away, the next few months could be catastrophic for her career. The illusion of control is gone, and the truth is about to hit hard. Hollywood is watching and distancing itself. Lively's downfall isn't just about one bad decision. It's a string of calculated moves that backfired spectacularly. Studios are backing away, industry insiders are speaking out, and the damage might be permanent. Her PR disaster started in early 2024, but by January 2025, it had spiraled into chaos. Fans were already frustrated with her take on It Ends With Us, criticizing her performance and how the film marketed sensitive topics like domestic abuse. Instead of capturing the emotional depth of the story, the project became a controversy magnet. And then came the legal battle with Justin Baldoni. What started as creative differences exploded into a courtroom war, with Lively accused of hijacking the production and manipulating the media to control the narrative. But with every legal move, she dug herself deeper. Now, with Friedman ready to expose everything, her carefully crafted image is on the verge of total collapse. The question is no longer whether Lively can fix this, it's whether Hollywood will ever trust her again. Blake Lively's downfall wasn't just a slow burn, it was an explosion. And the first major blast? That disastrous trailer drop on January 14, 2025. What was meant to generate excitement for It Ends With Us instead sparked outrage. Fans slammed it as tone-deaf, calling it a complete misinterpretation of the book's core message. The backlash was so intense that Sony had to scramble, editing and re-releasing the trailer just a week later. But by then, the damage was irreversible. Then came Lively's legal moves and things only got worse. Her original filings from December painted a bizarre picture, even accusing Isabella Beer of wrongdoing in a way that left people scratching their heads. But everything changed when Justin Baldoni fired back. He accused Lively of actively hijacking the film's production. And suddenly, people began questioning whether she had sabotaged the project from the start. Then came the leaked emails. On February 10th, Variety exposed messages proving that Lively had personally demanded script changes, fired editors, and even brought in her own composer all without the studio's approval. What started as behind-the-scenes meddling had now become a full-blown scandal, and Hollywood was taking notes. The backlash wasn't just from fans. Hollywood insiders started speaking out too. A Sony executive who worked on It Ends With Us didn't hold back, saying Lively's ego completely derailed the project. What should have been an emotional, powerful film turned into a marketing disaster, all because of her constant meddling. And when the legal battle with Justin Baldoni began, Lively's team scrambled to control the narrative. They tried to muzzle Baldoni's lawyer with a gag order, hoping to silence the damaging revelations coming out of court. But the judge shut it down immediately. That ruling meant Baldoni's team could keep exposing what had really gone on behind the scenes, and the industry was paying attention. Now, insiders are calling this one of the worst career implosions in recent memory. Just a year ago, Blake Lively was a bankable star. Now, studios are pulling back. A Warner Brothers producer, speaking anonymously to Deadline on February 25th, revealed that the studio quietly put a planned project with Lively on hold over at Netflix. An insider admitted that she had been considered for a lead role in a high-profile thriller, but as soon as the Baldoni lawsuit made headlines, that offer disappeared. Lively's reputation is crumbling, and in Hollywood, once the industry loses trust in you, it's nearly impossible to recover. And then there's the elephant in the room: Blake Lively's next movie. Set for a summer 2025 release, this film is now being viewed as the ultimate test of her star power. If it flops, it could be the final nail in the coffin for her Hollywood career. A senior Variety film critic summed it up in a February 27, 2025 article. Hollywood is watching this box office performance very closely. If audiences turn their backs on Blake Lively, studios will do the same. But things get even messier when you bring Ryan Reynolds into the picture. Lively's husband of over a decade is now being dragged into the controversy, and not in a good way. Some fans believe Reynolds was jealous of a dance scene between Lively and Baldoni in It Ends With Us. The speculation started after Reynolds posted a tribute to Sandra Bullock's birthday in July, referencing an intimate scene from The Proposal. Now, people are questioning whether Reynolds played a behind-the-scenes role in Lively's battle for control over the film. Did he support her decisions? Was he trying to influence the production? These questions are only adding more fuel to the fire as Lively's career hangs in the balance. Ryan Reynolds has built a reputation as the charming, easygoing husband on social media, but some fans aren't buying it. They're convinced he's the real mastermind behind the legal chaos surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. The theory? Reynolds saw something he didn't like, and instead of handling it privately, he allegedly pulled strings behind the scenes to take down Baldoni's career. It all traces back to a seemingly harmless scene in It Ends With Us. The film features a slow, intimate dance between Lively's character, Lily, and Baldoni's Riley, a moment that plays a key role in their love story. At first, it seemed like just another romantic movie moment. But then, fans made a shocking connection. The scene looked eerily familiar. Eagle-eyed moviegoers pointed out that the choreography, framing, and even the lighting were nearly identical to the famous Green Lantern dance scene where Lively and Reynolds first fell in love back in 2010. Was this just a coincidence, or did Reynolds take issue with the parallel? Some believe this was the spark that set everything in motion, leading to Lively's aggressive takeover of the film and the legal war that followed. It wasn't just similar, It was nearly identical. Fans flooded Twitter, now X, and Reddit in early February, dissecting every frame of the dance scene. Some questioned whether Reynolds felt uneasy about how close Lively and Baldoni appeared on screen. One fan pointed out, Ryan was fine with Blake making out with Ben Affleck in The Town. But a dance with Baldoni? Then, out of nowhere, Baldoni was hit with a lawsuit. The timeline raised eyebrows. Early in production, Baldoni and Lively's on-screen chemistry had been widely praised. But as filming progressed, rumors emerged that Baldoni was being difficult on set. By December 2024, Lively was suddenly accusing him of misconduct. Was that just a coincidence? Or was something bigger at play? The dance scene was just the beginning. By February 2025, another theory had taken shape: Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni had developed a close friendship behind the scenes, and some believed it made Ryan Reynolds uncomfortable. Then came the leaked text messages. On February 8th, the New York Times published a report revealing that Baldoni had frequently sent Lively voice messages late at night. The conversations ranged from script discussions to personal struggles, suggesting a deep creative bond. One of the messages allegedly read, "I know it's late, but I just wanted to say how incredible you were today." You made that scene come alive. It wasn't overtly flirtatious, but it was intimate enough to raise questions. And according to insiders, Reynolds wasn't pleased. A source close to the production told Variety on February 12th, Ryan wasn't thrilled about how much Blake and Justin were talking. He wasn't controlling, but he definitely didn't love it. Was this just professional admiration, or was something more going on behind the scenes? But by then, Justin Baldoni's career had crumbled in just a few weeks. His talent agency dropped him in early January 2025. Podcast deals were canceled. He lost 2 major film projects. And who walked away unscathed? Blake Lively and, by extension, Ryan Reynolds. Legal analysts noted that Lively's lawsuit wasn't just about "it ends with us." It aimed to shift the balance of power in Hollywood. But here's the one rule that never changes: studios hate scandals. They don't care about morality or fairness. They care about their bottom line. And right now, both Lively and Baldoni are PR disasters. The moment a Hollywood controversy stops generating headlines and starts costing money, studios panic. Even Wayfarer Studios, the very company Baldoni helped build, has started scrubbing his name from upcoming projects. Meanwhile, Blake Lively's reputation is unraveling just as fast. Sources inside Sony claim she overstepped her role on "It Ends With Us," making major decisions without approval. On February 10th, 2025, insiders told Variety that top executives now see her as difficult to work with, a label that can end careers in Hollywood, and the fallout is already happening. Deadline reported on February 19th, 2025, that Lively was in talks for a major Netflix series. But just as quickly as the deal surfaced, it went silent. No announcements. No follow-ups. Hollywood has seen this before. After the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, studios waited years before bringing either actor back into the spotlight. Even though Depp won his case, his career never fully recovered. Now, Lively and Baldoni are facing the same reality. No matter who wins this legal battle, one thing is clear: the industry doesn't want the baggage. Hollywood only forgives when the box office numbers justify it. Blake Lively's next film, an untitled crime drama, is set for release in 2025, and it might be her last shot at redemption. If it flops, studios will walk away. If it's a hit, she might get a second chance, but industry insiders aren't hopeful. A Hollywood Reporter article from February 25th, 2025 summed it up perfectly. Blake's star power isn't what it used to be, and this scandal isn't helping. If her next film underperforms, she'll be seen as a liability. This isn't just about bad press, it's about business. The real question is whether audiences still care about Lively, or if her career is already over. And then, another contradiction surfaced. While Baldoni was blocked from making a single change to the "It Ends With Us" script, Lively reportedly had full creative control. As the lawsuit spiraled out of control, something unexpected started happening behind the scenes. Blake Lively's unusually close relationship with her young co-star, Isabella Ferreira, raised eyebrows, and the more details surfaced. The stranger it looked. Ferreira, 23, played the younger version of Lively's character in "It Ends With Us." At 37 and a mother of 4, Lively suddenly began treating Ferreira like family. Reports from December 2024 claimed she invited Ferreira for sleepovers, bought her expensive gifts, and took her under her wing. A Variety article on February 10, 2025 put it bluntly: Blake was incredibly close with Isabella, almost in a way that felt strategic. It wasn't just a mentor relationship, it was deeply personal. The dynamic immediately raised questions. Was this genuine, or was there something more calculated behind Lively's sudden attachment? Some critics believed Lively was using her influence to pull Ferreira into her inner circle, ensuring she had a loyal ally in the lawsuit. The concern wasn't just about friendship, it was about manipulation. In a January 2025 interview, Ferreira publicly defended Lively, saying Blake was always there for me. She made me feel safe. But that statement only raised more questions. Was she speaking freely, or was there pressure behind her words? Lively is a Hollywood veteran with decades of experience. Ferreira is a young actress still trying to build her career. The power imbalance was undeniable, and some questioned whether Ferreira felt obligated to take Lively's side, fearing the consequences if she didn't. A Hollywood Insider report from February 14, 2025, didn't hold back. Blake's relationship with Isabella felt more like a strategy than a genuine friendship. She made sure Ferreira was in her corner. Critics also pointed out the hypocrisy in Lively's case. If improvisation and on-set adjustments constituted harassment, how did she justify her own husband's behavior? Ryan Reynolds built his career on improv, especially in Deadpool. The entire big sister dynamic between Lively and Ferreira felt too convenient. With Baldoni fighting back legally, some believed Lively was securing Ferreira's loyalty to use her as an extra witness if needed. A New York Post journalist wrote on February 17, 2025, if the case had gone to trial, Blake would have needed people on her side. Isabella's presence would have helped reinforce her claims. But the public isn't buying the narrative anymore. Lively's unusually close bond with Ferreira has raised serious ethical concerns. Was this a genuine mentorship, or was it a calculated move to strengthen her case? With Hollywood already turning against her, these questions only add to the damage. The drama is far from over. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest twists and turns.